Welcome to the HEV Mark IV protective system.
Welcome everybody to Half-Life.
Conditions.
Half-Life 1. We're going way back. Evaluation in progress. But who's doing the evaluating? Is it me or is it the game? But as you can tell, this isn't Half-Life 1. This is the Half-Life 1 demo that came out before Half-Life came out. And it is a completely different game. Completely separate mission from the actual retail release. It's kind of a... it's like an alternate dimension. What would happen if things were done differently? Just a small slice of it. It was very interesting, very cool release, and it really sets the tone for the whole Half-Life series, in my opinion, and what made it great. Half-Life is one of my favorite game series of all time. The reason I'm doing this now is because a couple days ago, on August 25th, 2017, which is a date that will go down in history for Half-Life fans everywhere, where Marc Laidlaw, the original writer of the Half-Life series, who's since left Valve about 18 months ago, has released a little letter to the fans entitled Epistle 3. Now, as you know, Half-Life 2 Episode 3 has become a meme on the internet as something that has gone down as vaporware, kind of like Duke Nukem Forever, basically, at this point. It's something they promised would be made, and it never was. And now, finally, we basically have confirmation that it will never come out. Because Marc Laidlaw released his this memo called Epistle 3, which is basically with names changed and characters gender swapped, the story of Episode 3 as he dreamed of it, as he dreamed it would be, and he never got to make, and he eventually left Valve 18 months ago, and so the game is just not coming. Valve has turned into something it had never used to be. So I thought we'd go back to the very beginning to see what made Valve great and rise from the underdog, basically, when it was started in 1996 to this monstrosity of a power plant in gaming as it is today. You know, they control Steam, and you know, they release hats on Team Fortress and stuff. They have their Counter-Strike Go, their Dota 2, but they haven't made a single-player game in ages. The last time they made a single-player game was Portal 2. That was their last game. Honestly, their last good game, in my opinion. It's interesting that now that, you know, all this time, because I loved their early games and I loved who they were, I really supported the company. I always had this vision of them in my mind as a company that could do no wrong. But now, I mean, 18 months ago when Marc Laidlaw left Valve, I kind of accepted that Half-Life Episode 3 would never come. Because he has to finish it. It's his story, right? And, but I think the nail was finally put in the coffin 2 days ago when he released Epistle 3. And it's nice that we finally have closure now, but it is very bittersweet, to be sure. For sure. We didn't think it would end this way. I kind of still had some semblance of hope, even though I'd given up. But now I have this whole different view of Valve as something different than what it was. It's turned into something else. There's a very good video that the Valve News Network released about Half-Life 2 Episode 3 / Half-Life 3, about some leaked beta footage of Half-Life 3 / Episode 3 that the fans got a hold of through files that were left in Valve's games that have been released over time, and they've put it all together in a package, and it's available for download on ModDB. But he had some interesting ideas and thoughts on Episode 3 and Valve in general, and what it used to be and what it is now. And I suggest you go watch it. I'll link it at the end of this video, and it'll be in the description. But for now, let's go back to what made Valve great. Half-Life 1. This was everyone's first introduction, first tangible, hands-on introduction to Half-Life. There had been some media releases before that, but this is the first thing anyone ever got to play. And it's just it's the perfect realization of how and why they became the powerhouse that they are today. It wasn't for no reason. Half-Life was their most successful game. It was their very first game, and their success was for a reason. So let's just get into it.
Open up the reactor complex so we can get down to safety.
I'm sorry, but those doors will not open until we send the all clear.
So send it already.
I would love to do that, but the aerial bombardment has made a wreck of my transmitter. The cables are severed. We'd have to aim it by hand. And I'm getting high radiation levels in the transmitter dome. Nobody but a fool would go in there.
What about this guy?
Yes, you could survive in that suit of yours. Very well.
Nice of you to ask.
I will lower security on the satellite access elevator, and you can go up into the dome. I'll try to help you over the intercom.
That's just like this game, though. Everything is attributed on your head. All the problems with this game that's happened, all on your head, because you pushed a button. Which is something you actually do in the full game, but not in this demo, obviously. That little split-second load time there, that took about a good 30 seconds back in the day, maybe longer. I like the way they some rudimentary physics. Obviously there's no real physics, but you can just slide this model prefab along the flat terrain here. I love how it makes you explore. Like, you can't go through this corridor until you get this crowbar, so you look around for something, you find a room. Oh, look, tools. Oh, can I pick that up? Oh, yes, I can. Like, it's pretty obvious nowadays, but back then this is groundbreaking stuff. Groundbreaking stuff. Because before that, games were just basically run and gun, no little story, if any. Certainly no cinematography or cinematic sequences at all. I haven't figured out how to get into this room. There's a shotgun in there and stuff at the very least, but I don't... At one point I thought there might be a vent, but there's no vent. So I don't know how to get in there. I don't know if there is a way or not. And as I was saying, this is the first game that offered actual cinematic structure to the game. Before that was basically go from level to level. Quake 2 started to do... Whoops. Ouch. That was bad. Forgot that. Cockroach. Okay, now this is dangerous. I'm gonna... Well, no, I need your help. Okay, come on, let's go. Quake 2 started to do the load the next area of the level, but it was still mostly tied to, okay, you beat this level, now go on to the next one. But it did have a sense of progression. Half-Life took that and ran with it. This game is actually based on the Quake 1 engine. Heavily modified Quake 1 engine. And introduced skeletal animation instead of just regular animation where you move the model geometry directly. So you have a skeletal structure that moves it from the inside instead. You tie certain elements to certain aspects of the skeleton. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm not a modeler or animator. Really throws you into the thick of it. Oh, I can't. I forgot this. I could take him with me. He'd probably die very quickly, but I need the help. Ow.
I got another one.
You got nothing, buddy. And so,
Okay, I'll secure this area.
you had non-playable characters who were, well, every game is non-playable characters, but friendly characters who could help you. Some would unlock doors, and some would give you fire support, backup, like the security guards there, and it was groundbreaking stuff. This stuff was not in any other game at the time. So it had more of a... had a much more immersive feel. And like things are more important. You grew attached. Like these characters don't have story arcs, but you feel bad when they die. You try to help them. Oh, you also feel bad when you die. Try this again. So,
You go on without me.
stay there. Oh no, I gotta kill this guy in here. So it was pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Gotcha, that time. Oh, yeah, that, I remember that. That's annoying. Beautiful graphics too. I remember when this first came out. I had a my friend of mine introduced this game to me about 98, maybe 99, and before that I had been first-person shooter gamer, but I played more stuff like Duke Nukem 3D, Wolfenstein 3D, GoldenEye on the 64, and I was strictly a keyboard... Wow, I should have fell down the other way, I'm so stupid. Strictly a keyboard player only, no mouse. And he introduced me to mouse controls, and I was like, wow, it's a whole other world, because keyboard controls are great for... shoot. Sometimes the physics in this game can be wonky. He introduced me to this whole other world, because keyboard controls are great for 2.5D, what they call first-person shooters, like Duke Nukem 3D. So it's more horizontally laid out. Like there are multiple levels, but generally you don't really do a lot of looking up or down. But this was in the era of 3D games, and you could. So I mean, Quake and Quake 2 had that capability, full 3D environment as well, but I didn't play those games. And so he introduced me to a full 3D world, which was really exciting. And then I started playing, well, Half-Life, and then Counter-Strike, and Action Half-Life, I remember that one. Frontline Force, Day of Defeat, all those mods. I was big into Half-Life. Deadly. Really introduces you to it. Look, they're killing scientists. Like, what is going on? You know some kind of catastrophe happened, but you don't know exactly what. I didn't know you were there. Ow.
Blood loss detected.
Shoot. Really smart AI in this game too. Very smart, groundbreaking in fact. Enemies didn't just come at you and kamikaze. They actually ran when they got shot, and if you stayed in one place for too long, they throw grenades at you to get you out. It was actually a selling point for the game. Very groundbreaking. Actually, so much so that the Half-Life 2 AI is kind of not as good. A lot of people have said. Dead aliens. Shovel. They're trying to cover this up. Whatever this is. I'm going to go over here. Oh, a shotgun. Excellent. Can't get in there. And your footsteps. You can actually hear your footsteps. It's just little details like that we take for granted now, but back then, these things are all like, oh, like you could actually use the microwave and Duke Nukem 3D. You could actually play pool. It didn't matter that it wasn't super realistic. It's just that you could do those things at all was amazing.
Wait a minute, and I'll let you in.
Feeling like I'm gonna miss something. I hate missing stuff. I like to explore every nook and cranny. I'll go back, buddy. I'll come back. I really want to see if I'm able to. I guess I can't. But there's a ladder there, and this is just decoration. There's a hole and everything. Please, I want to go down there. I could cheat, but I don't want to. I'm not a cheater. There's nothing to... Anything... Oh, I got some ammo. That's good. Anything I can climb here? I know I can climb up here, but what good does that do me? Nothing. I'm just gonna keep going. If I miss something, I miss something. Whatever. I was blown away by this game. I haven't seen anything like it. It just hits the spot. Exactly the stuff I like as far as sci-fi and thriller and aspects. Not a big horror fan. There's not a lot of it in this, but it's just, you know, some unnerving stuff, scary moments. And it really mixes it up from area to area. It changes up the things you do and the enemies you face, and it's lots of variety. It was just great. The music is fantastic. Really liked it.
Freeman, you'll want to work quickly. Tune the transmitter to the US NRC. I repeat, tune to the US NRC.
I don't know what USNRC means. I know what these other ones mean. No FBI? That was puzzles. Oh yeah. Okay.
Excellent. I'm sending the all clear and the doors should open now. We'll meet you down below.
The music's glitching out there. I don't know why the music's glitching, that sucks. Oh, they're coming in. They're coming in. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It gives you a sense of anticipation and urgency. It's very well done.
Seriously wounded. I don't think I can last much longer.
He died. Here's where we find some aliens. Screamy sound effects there. That's really annoying about the music. I apologize about that. Now you see exactly why. I should have just let him die. I keep doing that every time I play. Save the wrong people. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'll just let you die. I should go up. A lot of scripted sequences, but this was really cool stuff back then. Wow, all this stuff's happening back. Come on. Medic? Yeah, you need more than that, buddy. Oh, and here we are. I guess I didn't miss anything. This is my way back. And now the aliens are running over the overrunning humans in the same areas. Is my buddy still alive? Oh my goodness. Nothing's there. That's weird. Oh, there's my buddy.
What are you trying to do? Roger that. Let's run away.
Oh dear. Come on, buddy. Very close. These guys would all have dynamic conversations with each other too. If you bring two random people together and they have these just generic small talk conversations. It's great. Now, even if there would be friendly characters in another game, they wouldn't talk like this and have conversations and actually be a part of the narrative sometimes in the sequence on purpose. Like in Quake 2, there's friendly characters, but they'd be like going crazy. They didn't talk. That kind of stuff just wasn't thought of. Oh, can I get in here now? Nope, I still can't. I'm gonna die. I need some health.
Bring it on!
Oh! Yeah, I need some health. Oh no. These guys become friends in Half-Life 2, but they can't speak English, so obviously they can't tell you that you're kind of fighting for the same cause. Of course, when they made this game, they didn't have that in mind at all. Kind of came up with that after Half-Life 2, or when they made Half-Life 2, I should say. Yeah, the vending machines work, and you can actually heal up. Reminds me of the water fountains from Duke Nukem 3D. Little interactive details just make all the difference. Let's get up to 60 and then I'll go. Ah, cockroach! There we go. That's good enough. My boy died.
Freeman. Let's go.
Do you have any idea what's going on?
Let's go.
Oh, what's a cinch?
I'm gonna save here.
Is someone...
Oh, that guy was alive. Interesting. Little creepy vibes this game gave out. Guy with a head crab on his head munching on his skull. And he says, "Is someone there?" Absolutely creepy, man. Barney? Where are you, Barney? I need you. Come on.
Let's get the hell out of here.
I guess he wasn't even following me. Oh! That was bad.
Is someone there?
All right. Engineer that so that your friends can't follow you.
This is as far as I go.
He even says so. And then the trademark vents. Half-Life staple. And the music's freaking out again. I don't know why it's doing that. Look out, that guy's big. It's souping you up with power-ups, because you know there's a boss fight coming. I guess I can I? Oh, there we go. Come on, what's going on here? Am I not supposed to go in that way? Guess not. What you don't know about this boss fight this guy is unstoppable. Look, there is the G-Man. All these things are meant to see. If this didn't bring the hype for Half-Life, then I don't know what would. This was such a great introduction. Your bullets just don't hurt. He's coming for you. Uplink completed. Well, I might start a Half-Life playthrough of the whole series now because of this. But just in honor of Half-Life, in memory. RIP Half-Life, and RIP Valve as a game developer.